But he just reminds me of Russell Wilson, man. And he's 22
Yep.
years old.
20,
And he's got
and
Nuke.
he's with and he has Nuke. You know how much better Nuke's gonna be because
Oh man.
he's alongside Larry Fitzgerald. He's already a great receiver, but now he has a real a real vet who's done it for years that he's probably gonna learn some things he's never even heard of.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like DeAndre Hopkins is number 2 on my list as far as the receivers in the league, but he's gonna be so much better. And you have you have Cliff as the head coach, and man, when they got D Hop, I bet he was just salivating. Like, what am I going to do with this?
Oh boy, he been
So he's only
cooking.
going to get better.
He been
I
cooking.
saw something earlier where he got some votes for potentially MVP season. You saw that?
Hopkins?
No. Kyler Murray.
Oh, this upcoming year?
Yeah.
Oh, that wouldn't
So
surprise me. I don't know what those odds are, but I would go to Vegas and put those down now.
I can't remember the only reason I wouldn't say I wouldn't pick him because for one you probably got to win in most circumstances. You got at least win the division. Win the division to you got to have the numbers to back it up. Yes, but if you win a division, you're just elevated. Okay, now you're really in that MVP conversation. It's an individual award, but your team has to have success.
That's
And
true.
he's in a division with the 49ers, runner-ups, and the Seattle Seahawks, which you can argue were the best team in the division. So he has to at least – that's going to be tough. And, if he does win the division, and I'm sure it's going to be because of his play, but that's the only reason I wouldn't say he's going to win MVP, because in year 2 to win the division, even though you got some new weapons, that's going to be tough with those 2 teams in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's 8th now in MVP odds behind
8th. Okay.
Mahomes, Jackson, Wilson, Watson, Brady, Breeze, Prescott. And that's the
Gotcha.
only reason why I would say I would put, because I'd be comfortable with that 8th. Yeah. If he was like top 5, I'd step back a little bit. But and I like Kyler Murray in Arizona almost as much as I like Kyle Trask. Big Kyle Trask fan, by the way. But I think they're gonna have a breakout year. Every year, there's some team that goes worst to first. If I were a betting man, I wouldn't be surprised to see that be Arizona. But
I wouldn't be surprised. I think when we did our division outlook, I had them winning around that 9 to 10 mark. I wouldn't be surprised they 9-7, 10-6. That somewhere in that area, I think.
9-7, 10-6, and then you get the ball bounced a certain way, get some injuries from some other teams. You can go, 11-5, 12-4. So it's possible. Big Arizona fans. I got Kyler Murray 10, man. Who you got?
10, I have Dak. I have Dak Prescott. So
Dak.
I did mine a little different. So I didn't do – you're doing yours kind of like based on projections and how they finished last year and going into this season. I kind of did mine on where they are now, or, how the last few years coming into this year, how well they've been. So I have Dak. And people hate on Dak, and I just think it's crazy when you're saying, okay, Dak is a top 5 quarterback. Nah, you're stretching. He's a solid quarterback. Now, is he deserving? I don't do the, well, you shouldn't pay him because he's not worth it. He's the next person in line, so get your money.
So pay him.
Pay
every black man.
That too. But he's the next quarterback in line to get paid. You can't get around it. There's no point of even arguing how much quarterbacks should get paid anymore, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think he's with the contract negotiations. I think he's more concerned with, okay. And I saw this comparison. I think Shannon Sharp was talking about this. 5 years ago, Aaron Rodgers was the highest paid quarterback at $22 million. $22 million per year.
Goodness.
Russell Wilson is making $35 per year. So you see that jump in 5 years. So I think Dak is thinking about, okay, in year 5, salary cap probably is going to go up at least about 10 to 12 million per year. That's about at least 50 million more in 5 years. So I'm thinking, okay, in that 5th year, typically that's when you're like, okay, this quarterback isn't getting paid as much compared to all these other quarterbacks because of how the contract, because how the cap space has spiked.
True.
So Dak is thinking, okay, 35 a year is cool because I'm in that top, 1 or 2 to 3 paid quarterbacks per year. But in year 5, 35 million is going to be nothing. So give me my 45 in year 5 if you want me to sign on this dotted line. So that's why that's the only thing. That's the only reason I think he hasn't signed his extension yet. Because the money per year is cool, I think.
Yeah.
But in that 5th year, that number is going to spike in that 5th year. So he's thinking about that, and I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him either. I think my biggest thing is if I was in his camp, though, if I were his agent, I might consider pushing him to sign the deal for 2 reasons. One, and this is a larger conversation, but people always talked about live TV, and just how revenue and all that stuff just kept rising for all pro sports. Everything economic has a bubble, and that bubble's burst. Like nobody saw a pandemic causing it, but something was going to cause it to burst, and here it is. And so I think his most reported deal was $33 million per year. The only reason I would say that go ahead and take that is I would have concerns about, one, whatever the next they just agreed to a new CBA, I believe. So, which I don't understand why
That's
owners weren't pushing for more of a cap on quarterback pay either, but that's a different conversation. Yeah. But I see a world where revenues like continue to decline, and I don't see the NFL has just been printing money for the past decade. I don't see that happening again for another decade. And so if I were him, I think naturally we're going to see some of this stuff reined in just because there's just not going to be as much money coming in. Like we're at depression level unemployment, and so that means people just not going to have as much money to blow on tickets. We're not going to buy your little NFL sports TV package because we're just going to stream it illegally. I mean, it's just facts. I'm not. I'll pay for it. Don't come for me, Uncle Sam. But, most people. So, all those things, like I don't mean to get into the economics lesson here, but all those things, sort of tumble. And right now he's got a deal on the table that's $90 million guaranteed. Now, if I were him, I get it. Let me do the other end because I'm with you personally. I agree with you. And that why am I going to take $90 million guaranteed when Money Heist just got $84 million guaranteed?
84. And I'm way better than him.
And I'm way better than Money Heist. So
that's what.
So I get it. So he's in a difficult position personally.
He is.
And we'll see. Go ahead.
And he's thinking, like without y'all chose Tony Romo. Y'all chose me over Tony Romo. And so obviously you think I'm the guy. And there's a lot of analytics out there that say if your quarterback is making such and such percentage of your team salary cap, you're not going to win the championship. And that's around, I think the salary cap is the franchise tag is whatever the franchise tag number is per year, that is about 14% of the team's salary cap, of every salary cap of every team salary cap. So if you get above around that 18%, then it's a large dip in your team's percentage of winning a championship because you can't pay who you need to pay.
Yeah.
So if it's reported that he wants $40 million a year, that's about 20%. That's a lot. So I get the Joneses, their reasons for not signing. I get it. I get that because he's saying, look, I'm young. I think he's 26. I want my money. And it's my turn. Let me get my money. So it's going to be interesting to see, how that – I think he's eventually going to cave in. I don't see him playing under the tag the whole year. I don't see it. I think part of me is because I don't see him in another uniform.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think he's going to play that big of hardball where he's like, okay, I play for somebody else after the year. I don't think he's going to do that, but he might surprise me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a complicated situation to put it mildly. I mean, the franchise tag for quarterback, I think for 2020, I think is 26.8 or something. So if he's offered $33 million annually, he wants 40. I mean, that you start to get in the realm to where this is kind of tight.
It's like, bro, you tripping.
yeah, like you tripping. And I think like there are only 4 or 5 guys in the league probably who should make that kind of money because not should. Let me walk that back because I'm never going to say what somebody should make. You should make what the market says you can make.
Yeah.
Who can make that amount of money and still
live up to it.
Exactly. And still be to compete for a Super Bowl. And that's a handful of guys. I think with Dak, the issue becomes and maybe he's betting on himself. He's like, hey, I've got a real coach now. I should have went 11-5 last year. So I'm here now. I just got CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, we missed some pieces along the offensive line, but the offense is still good. We got an elite pass rusher. We got a real head coach now. Like maybe we can make a deep run to NFC title game. And if they get there, they're gonna pay him. They haven't been to the NFC title game since '95. Jerry, if they get to an NFC title game, Jerry's gonna pay him.
Yep.
Now I don't know what happens if he bets on himself and they go 8-8 again, but then I think it's a weird. My bad. Go ahead.
I want that to happen because I just want some chaos. I want to see what they're going to do. Okay, you got a new head coach. You didn't sign him to extension. I'm on a franchise tag. He plays. He has similar numbers. Numbers were inflated last year because they were trailing a lot. He has similar numbers, but they go 8-8, or they go 9-7, and they get bounced out. Maybe first round if they make the postseason. I think Philly's the best team in that division. So if they get a wild card, they get bounced out the first round. Okay, now it's like, dang, bro, are we gonna pay you?
Yeah.
Do you deserve this money? So I want that to happen just so I can see what has next offseason. Something else. That's interesting.
It's I'm gonna be interested to follow this because I think the biggest thing with Dak is honestly after having that conversation, I think I might. If I were him, I might take the deal, and I might take the deal because there's no drawback. I think so. For example, if he takes the deal, they go out, they make a deep run to the NFC title game. Lo and behold, the Super Bowl, and he says, "Hey, I want to restructure. I want more guaranteed money. I don't see a world to where Jerry doesn't easily agree to that. And so, yes, he's giving up a little bit of leverage if he takes the deal now, but I think cost benefit. I just think you get more if you take the deal now, because if you go 8-8, then how much money are you leaving on the table?
Yeah,
I mean, this is a big year for him.
Yeah,
and he knows it, and that's why he's pushing so hard for his money now. And it's just like,
because he knows there's a lot of people who don't believe in him.
Exactly.
Or there's a lot of people who are saying, well, bro, it's the offensive line, it's Zeke, it's, there's this, that. Everybody other than Skip Bayless thinks.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody other than Skip Bayless thinks, it's everything around him that's made him successful. So, yeah, he hears that. He hears that.
I got Dak 7, and this is probably 7? A whole lot higher than most people would have had. Let me recap my bottom tier top 10. I got Kyler Murray at 10. I got Matt Ryan 9, Carson Wentz 8, Dak Prescott 7.
Okay.
Thing with Matt Ryan. Hey, Matt, I think Matt Ryan's Peyton Manning. He should have 2 rings. We'll do that. We'll do that podcast at some point. Some point this summer. 109 and 80 as a starter, 4,400 passing yards last year. They were down a lot, so maybe that number is inflated. People was like, oh, he threw 14 picks last year. He did, but he never has time to throw. And actually, here's the thing, because 7.33 yards per attempt last year, Matt Ryan has been sacked 90 times in the past 2 years.
That's crazy. And look, you have his 18 stats pulled up.
Let me get to it. But
so his 2000, if I remember correctly, his 2018 stats were better than his MVP season stats.
Barely. Yep, 2016, it 49, like, 44. Oh, he threw for 20 more yards in 16 than 18.
So yeah, so it was right on. It was right on par, and that kind of, for me, that kind of silenced the rumors or the talks of, well, it was just Kyle Shanahan. Yes, Kyle Shanahan came in and made some adjustments, and that offense was humming. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Matt Ryan has always had the skill to do that. That's the thing. People want to say, in the NFL, it's not like college football. You get a new offensive coordinator, college football, you're at USC or Georgia or Alabama. You have all these 5-star weapons. It's easy to pitch and catch and, let the stars do their thing. In the NFL, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's on the same playing field. So the quarterback, either you have that skill or you don't. You have to get the ball out to these guys and help them make a play. But you have to, it's all about location of the ball and things like that. Offensive line has been terrible in Atlanta. So, I'm not mad at Matt Ryan. Where you have him 7th?
I have him 9, which to me, 9, 8, 7, 6 are pretty buckled. And at 6, I got Aaron Rodgers. We'll get to more of that later. Matt Ryan, to me, has always been an elite quarterback. I don't know if he's elite anymore, but he's still a top 10 guy. He's a guy you can win a Super Bowl with without a perfect roster. And, granted, and we don't give Matt enough credit for taking that defense to a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That defense was trash. As we saw in the last quarter and a half. But yeah, he gets a bad rap. I think just by way of being quarterback for the Falcons. But look, Matt Ryan, that 2016 season was phenomenal. He's been a one-time All-Pro, which means at some point in his career he was clearly the best quarterback in football.
He was that year.
Oh yeah, without question.
He was.
Which to me means something. And he should have capped it off with a title. Last year, he threw for 4,400 yards. Like I said, they were down by a lot in some instances. But I think, and this is why, as I start to look a little bit more towards this season, I'm not sold on Atlanta being the third best team in that division. I think there's a lot of groupthink going on as far as, Tampa, New Orleans, it's going to be tough. Look, they went 7-9 last year.
And they rallied, I think, 5 or 6 wins.
They started 1-7?
1-7, yeah.
1-7, had a crap ton of injuries on the defensive side. I didn't like AJ Terrell in the first round. I think they reached a little bit, but it fills a need, number one. Number two, they're gonna get a full year of Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom. So we'll see. I like Lindstrom coming out of Boston College. For them, it's pretty simple. It's a matter of can we get these guys to block? And if Lindstrom and McGarry can be average, not even good, if they can be average, that's an
11-win football team.
That's an 11-win football because the offense is ridiculous.
Yep.
So there's a whole lot of sleeping on Atlanta because Tampa has Tom Brady and all this other stuff. And I hate to boil it down that small, but their season is going to come down to Lindstrom and McGarry. And if they can be average, they're going to win 10 or 11 games.
Yep. Because I don't think – and Atlanta fans know that they don't expect to get MVP contender Todd Gurley. They don't expect that. But, hey, what if you do? We don't know how that knee is going to hold up. But if it's fine just for 1 year, you know what that can do for Matt Ryan?
Oh, that's all you need. Man.
You know what? You traded away Sanu. Calvin Ridley is he's already one of the best route runners in the league to me. So you got Calvin Ridley, you got Julio Jones, you got rid of you let the tight end walk, Austin Hooper. I didn't think he was all that. He caught 7-yard hitch. 7-yard hitch.
I think they upgraded a tight end.
Yes, I was about to say they upgraded. Hayden Hurst is much more versatile. He's faster. His skill set is a lot better. He just got stuck behind Mark Andrews, and that was unfortunate. But both teams benefited. But like you said, it comes down to, can those two guys be a average to above average? If they are, hey, that's an 11-win football team. Because yes, the defense has to rebound and off of a pretty bad season. But it's always been the same thing with Dan Quinn. I don't understand why they can't rush the passer, but hey,
yeah, I mean,
if they can, then
they got Fowler.
Listen, yeah, they did. They got Fowler and Grady
Which
Jarrett
is crazy because they got the
underrated.
best nose tackle in football,
So
and they can't seem to get an edge rusher.
I don't understand. It's not for lack of trying, because they do sign guys, and I don't understand. They should have declined Vic's option and tried to get another guy last year, but
they should have done. Yeah, they were a year late on that.
But yeah, man, people are sleeping on Atlanta. I think Matt Ryan doesn't get a lot of love outside of Atlanta. He even gets hate from Atlanta fans.
He gets hate from his own fans.
A lot of it is because people think Michael Vick was way better than he was. And
oh man,
sorry to boil it down to you. Yeah, Michael Vick was an average quarterback. I'll just put it out there. Matt Ryan is the best quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history, and it's not even close.
he might be the best. People want to be really mad at me for saying this. I don't care. He might be the best pro athlete in the history of Atlanta sports. Yes, I know there's Dominique Wilkins. Yes, I know there's Pistol Pete. Yes, I know there's Greg Maddux to whoever else. But when you play quarterback,
yes, talking about the quarterback.
When you play quarterback, like if you get elevated. And he would already be that guy if they could have.
If he would have won it.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, and I'm glad Atlanta recognizes this, is that, I mean, Matt's going to turn. He just turned 35. He's got another 4 or 5 years at a high level.
Yes.
Yes. And so they still got a chance to go out here and win a title in the next 4 or 5 years, which I think they will, because they have a good owner. So he's going to figure this thing out. I would have liked to have seen, and I would probably have Matt Ryan in the top 4 if they of my list here, if they had done what I wanted them to do, which was get rid of Dan Quinn and hire Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City. That would have been fun. Well, Bieniemy with Ryan, Julio, Ridley, Hurst.
Bro. He goes from Kelsey, Hill, Watkins to that. It's a trade-off. It's just different. It just looks different.
Oh man.
But yeah.
I hope. Anyway, I had Murray, Ryan, Wentz at 8. We got into Wentz a lot when we talked about the NFC East. The only thing I'll say about Wentz, 32-24 as a starter. 4,039 yards, 27-7 touchdown interceptions last year. Interceptions I don't pay much attention to anymore. But 2 things that stuck out to me, which honestly I had him thinking about dropping him out of top 10. 6.7 yards per attempt last year. Not a whole lot of throwing the ball downfield or accuracy. Now his guys can't catch passes. So unlike Aguilar, but the 32-24 is great until you see that you take 2017 out of there when he was 11-2, I think. He's 21-22 as a starter. I'm not with the injury-prone Carson Wentz crowd, but he's got a lot to prove this year too.
He does. And I have so my top my bottom 10 have Dak 10. I have Brady 9. I think you had him